Welcome to The Intervention with Agent Taco. This is my podcast paired with my video gameplay on YouTube. I'm an essayist, a writer, a gamer, and many other things. But this podcast takes a spin on some of my Fortnite gameplay and takes me into some topics that are real. Topics like the state and future of our nation, the state of video games I play, some of my theories and opinions about anything. And I try to take you on my journey through life, thinking and figuring out what it's all about. Sometimes the topics will be about gaming, sometimes about politics, sometimes about my hobby, mountain biking and cycling. But it's always about the things I learn and sharing them with you, and lending my voice to this generation of writers and essayists. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening to my podcast, please share and comment. I hope you enjoy my first podcast, which is called Learning How to Lose, Why Losing in Gaming is Good. Enjoy! Let me give you a hypothetical situation. And of course, this podcast/video may seem like it's only for gamers and people who know the game of Fortnite and games like it, but it's not, and you'll find that out later on. But I'm not going to give you too much explanation about the game, the map, the guns. This isn't about that. Those things are interesting as hell, but that's for another time. So back to the hypothetical for Fortnite Chapter 5, Season 1. Imagining you've just landed at a location that's sweaty as hell. Too many people land here, but someone on your team marked it, so it's too late to change now. While you're gliding into the landing zone, you say to yourself, "I'm dead!" And when you land, you're immediately met by a multitude of players, all doing the same thing, looking for a gun and trying to kill you. I run into one of those shield breaker grenades, and another, and then an impulse. And another person comes into the room. I'm trying to loot, and there's one gray pistol between me and him. He picks the gun up milliseconds before me. I throw one of those worthless shield breakers, which doesn't work, because he has no shield. And all the while, he's popping my ass with the gray pistol. He knocks me, which means he almost kills me, and finishes me. And my teammates are all over the same location doing the same thing. Some have more luck than others, but at the time of my death, I start screaming obscenities, profanities, curses, screaming, "I hate this game! Will someone make a better game than this so I can quit this effing game? It's the worst game to ever be created!" But is it, though? While I am that member of my team in almost every season and chapter I've played in Fortnite, I have done exactly what I've just explained so many times that I cannot even count. I have ruined friendships, relationships, blocked and banned perfectly good and honest people, and ghosted so many others because in the whole process of this game, Fortnite, in hundreds of hours of gameplay, I haven't truly learned how to lose. And honestly, it is still a work in progress that I'm working on to this very day. I've tried several different methods to decrease my frustration with this game. One method I tried to use last chapter is what I'm calling the quarter play rationale. When I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, I used to go to the corner liquor store called Branches. After scouring my couch at home for quarters that my parents might have dropped in there while sitting watching TV, or I might have had $1 or so for allowance or whatever, and I would go to Branch's liquor store, buy a candy bar, and play a video game in their 2-game video arcade. Yes, there were 2 games, of which one was called Kung Fu Master. In this game, I would play a character who would fight the CPU characters using kung fu kicks, punches, and a couple of other weapons to go from level to level. That is, if I remember correctly. If you're interested, check Wikipedia for details, as I don't remember 100% of what this game's about. I would usually only have 1 quarter, so that meant I only had 1 game to play, and invariably someone would come into Branches and put a quarter down on the glass monitor of the game, meaning that once I lose, they're going next. This sucked, because the pressure was on to win. I would fight the first guy, and of course I would win, because that was the easy level, but the second opponent was upgraded and more difficult. He had special moves and faster movement, so it was hard to get a victory. I'd probably lose my one and only chance really at gaming, leaving the kid that put the quarter down his chance to play Kung Fu Master. This sucked. And especially if you weren't any good like me, your gaming pleasure would be short-lived, costly, and although it only cost a quarter was out of my reach as if it were $1,000,000. The point I'm making is that losing back then cost me a lot. I might not be able to play the game for a week or more, and my parents weren't just going to give me a quarter for some arcade game. Loading into a Fortnite lobby for my son and I is free. It's not going to cost me a quarter, and I don't have people waiting on me. We can load in as many times as we like, and as long as my console and and his PC have power, we can play all day until bedtime if we want. Therefore, the game is free to play. As long as you don't go down the V-Buck rabbit hole, it's free. So I would say to my team, hey, I don't know why I'm getting so pissed off here. I can load in again and again as long as I want. I've already paid for the Wi-Fi. I've already paid for the devices. I don't need another quarter to play. And I don't have to worry about someone watching me hoping that I lose so he can take over the machine. So my rhetorical question is, why the hell am I so mad about losing in this game? Because I can play again and again if I lose. Somehow, this rationale always breaks down, and I let the frustration of losing get victory over me, and I blow a gasket. Another method I've tried to use to cope with the pain of losing in Fortnite is muting my mic so that when I go into a profanity-laced rage fit because I got one pumped by a green weapon with full health, no one will hear it. I thought to myself, maybe I should just silence my mic so that nobody has to hear me when I yell and curse at the game. Muting my mic stops them from hearing this explosion of vitriol. This method, though, is an overwhelming failure because for some reason, yelling at the game and your teammates for their stupid decisions just helps. Of course, it doesn't feel good after the game when everybody's in the lobby and there's an awkward silence because I just ripped them a new one because they're effing idiots. But yelling and screaming with a muted mic just doesn't help. The bottom line is muting the mic is not the best, because no one likes to play with a teammate with no mic anyway. Communication is key to winning a team game in Fortnite. Muting the mic definitely does not help this, so I stopped doing it. More recently in Chapter 5 Season 1, what I've been trying to do is play less of the game. What this allows me to do is to have a really good excuse about why I suck. I suck because I don't play, obviously. I don't think I've done this entirely on purpose either. But it causes my gameplay to have so many weaknesses. I don't know how to use the transportation. I don't know how to use the guns effectively. I don't know the map. I don't know the secrets of the game which makes winning possible. For instance, the snipers this season have a bullet drop, which has changed in multiple updates in the game. I think this is a very cool and real-life feature of this season's guns. It brings some realism to this kiddie-ass game that I would have never imagined while I was playing Kung Fu Master when I was a kid. Anyway, when I pick up a sniper, I can choose multiple different attachments at an upgrade station, like scopes, muzzles, magazines, and so forth, that almost all of them I don't know which one I should be using or prefer. So when I use it, I'm garbage at using it, so I have trouble hitting my shots. So in a long distance fight with a team, I might get lucky and hit a shot, but I can't finish the deal and take out my enemy. This inexperience makes my losing a match in this game reasonable. I lost because I suck. Because I don't know how the guns work. I don't know how it will affect me when I get hit with it. This method or effect of my lack of play, a morbid anti-progression ass-backwards scenario, works in a way, but it does not lessen the suck factor of losing a game. Every time I lose, I feel less prone to rage because I suck. But even so, I still do hate losing, so the rages still rear their ugly screams, and I rip into the game and at times my team, of which I get extremely guilty. So, needless to say, this method does not work. Now, I don't know if there is any way to decrease my frustration with the game and losing games. I used to ask my squad mates, who likes a game they can't win? I would say Fortnite is a game that is going to die because it's a game you can't win. It's geared for people that play the game so much that they've mastered the mechanics, the guns, the movement, the map, strategies, and secrets that when a regular guy like myself who works for a living will never be able to compete with these highly skilled players because I'm busy trying to pay for the internet that I have less time to play and master the gameplay of Fortnite. I use the game as a way to get my mind off some of my real life responsibilities. Therefore, losing every Battle Royale game is a high certainty and one I have to live with because I don't have the time to invest in mastering all the intricacies of the game. I would also tell my team that Fortnite needs players to lose. Now, this is my opinion. It's not scientific. This is not data based or based on any inside information. So, this is just me again trying to logically make sense of what I think are Epic Games' objectives. Now, Epic does not only want us to lose, but they want us to lose quickly. I believe this benefits their servers and the overall playability of their game. Hence the storm cloud, the 8 DPS at the end of the game, which is just another annoyance of the game. The regeneration of waiting lobbies depends on the constant elimination of players and teams to quickly create lobbies and new games on new servers. Also, an end game with too much going on in the way of players, builds, gunfire, movement will make the game glitchy and unplayable and prone to crashes, as I conjecture. Again, I'm not sure if this is true, but it is one of my theories as to why a game like Fortnite is so hard to win, or so hard to win for us casual players. So bottom line is Epic needs and likes losers. Sorry guys, but it's true. It resupplies their lobbies, adds space to their servers, or subtract space from their servers, and keeps the game from getting bogged down with glitches. My last reason, which I know is a fact about why I lose so much, is obviously my own reaction time. I am just too slow against third grade Switch players and others that play the game a lot in a game with players that can move their fingers at the speed of light and whose vision is way better than my own. And me over here on a PS5, like a sloth running from a forest fire in the Amazon, trying to edit a wall for at least 3 seconds in the heat of a firefight. I literally don't have a chance. It is sad to get old, kids, which is why I believe a player like Bush Camp Dad has such a following. We old guys are so outclassed by the youngsters, we have a very limited chance to win a game where perks of getting old like craftiness and cunning have a very limited chance of winning based on younger players that have the advantage of tactility. They have an advantage with their vision and a lack of fear present in the youthful mind. It's hard to beat using old-timey tricks. All of this is not to mention my personal opinion that some victories are 100% based on FPS, or frames per second, ping, and data rate. But I digress. I am old, I am old. I wear the bottom of my trousers rolled. So what am I trying to say about losing in Fortnite? Overall, the losing rate in this game is frustrating, and I don't know if my raging and fits of yelling will ever stop. So I question the usefulness that this game plays in my own life. I do think that there is something useful in games like this that our children are learning from losing. When I was a kid, I learned losing from playing live sports like baseball, football, and basketball. Sometimes I would lose and sometimes I would win. But it was never a constant losing streak like in some of these games. Some from my generation may have learned differently how to lose or even how to win. I'm not going to get into the debate that one generation is better than the other, or that I learned things like losing in a better or worse way than kids today. But I think often kids in this generation and others that spend many hours of video gaming coming out of the COVID years of 2020 to 2023, that kids are thought to be unprepared, lazy, and unstudied. It's possible that the opinion is that they lack things like patience, hard work, diligence. They don't want it, whatever it may be. They want things now and not later. They don't know how to complete tasks for the long term or even the short term. They don't know how to work at high levels and more depthful than in generations of the past. Some may say this generation is not learning like they should. They cannot remember things. They need to do more repetition, and they need to focus. They don't know how to study things by reading and taking notes and such. I've heard it said that this generation may not be able to produce the next generation of a successful America. And sometimes I worry about this myself. I've heard it said that our country is doomed. These kids don't know how to turn a wrench. These kids don't know how to subtract fractions. They don't know decimals. They can't read cursive writing. They don't know this and they don't know that. Well, maybe so, but I'll tell you what. They know how to handle loss and failure way better than I do. They take a 30% winning percentage and they keep on playing. They take a 3% winning percentage and they keep on having fun. Maybe it doesn't cost them a quarter. But the kids that are playing Fortnite and other games like this know one thing, and that is how to lose and keep on going. They play for the fun of the game, the same way I played baseball in the elementary school diamond. They play for their friends. They play to impress them. They play to show off, to get better, to meet girls, to meet boys, to create, and to be creative. They play to get better, and honestly, these kids, like my 11-year-old son, continue to play despite the difficulty, despite the toxicity, despite losing, despite the randomness that corporations like Epic make in some of their decisions in changing the game from update to update. And I think this will take them long and far. Often, they play and lose and do not react in an out-of-control way like me. And they react with a kind and fun-loving attitude. This attitude to loss is so much different than mine. This is why possibly I have such a problem keeping it together in the game. I grew up doing things I would succeed at and not necessarily doing things I would fail at a lot. If I failed at something a lot, I wouldn't do it. The kids that I play with on this game have been playing for a long time, and they rarely rage quit. Do they get frustrated? Yes. Do they get angry? Yes. Do they get bothered by losing? Sure. But they keep on going. And I think this is why I was wrong about this generation and the kids that play Fortnite and other games. Losing the game is not a bad thing like I would think when I was a kid. Quitting because you believe you failed is the bad thing. Only playing things that one is successful at does not teach resilience. Resilience can only be learned in the volcanic churn of failure. This is why I think this game is good for kids and adults alike. It's good because it shows you how to lose, and that failure is just an entry door into success. These kids will get victories in life. Yeah, they will get the losses, but it is more realistic in life to get losses than it is to get a lot of wins. And a 3% winning percentage is going to help our kids in the game of life. Thank you for listening to my podcast and video on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed, and if so, I hope I caused you to consider and think about some of the things I mentioned. Please comment and consider subscribing to my channel on YouTube. In this opening series, I'm going to try to put one essay per week on different topics. Next week's essay is called How to Know When You're Not Where You're Supposed to Be. Please like and subscribe. If you're interested in publishing a copy of my essay, please message me and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching and check you later.
It's a dude.
Where is that?
No, we got it.
No, watch it.
Man.
I took him 48. He's inside.
Come on.
Inside here.
Hey, break that wall down.
Where's he at?
I did it. Oh,
Dumb
Wait,
fuck.
no, still here.
I have.
You have a med kit?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Let me right here. So
Oh,
give
yeah.
us 3v2.
Vic knows was Peter. Hey.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Someone
I
is
killed
died.
3v1. He died. Oh, the storm. Get me out of here.
Watch this fool.
Why can't you heal when you're sliding? Oh,
What's
gosh.
medkit
Watch
stuff?
that. Watch that bush.
I need a real one.
Yeah. Reload everything. He's gonna come up behind us. Watch. It's probably in the storm right now, dude.
He's probably trying to heal.
I'm gonna get in this car and I'm gonna heal up.
Oh, he's in the car.
No, is he?
Oh, he's
Oh!
Record that, dude.
Bro, he was that robot skin, you know, from
Oh, I can't pick up this crown either. Dang it.
he was just. I got in the car and I wanted to get in the passenger seat and I started driving. I was like, who was in the car? And I just looked next to me and I saw a robot. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that's funny.
He was our Uber.
he was our Uber Eats.
That was a good
Was
one.
it a real player? He had to be a real player.
was-
that-
yeah, he
that
was
the-
he is hiding out,
That was the group that I was shooting at.
Dude,
And he had a crown, dude.
we had
Yeah.
the best